Welcome to Dave's Wreaths and Things. My name is Dave, and today I'm going to be going through how I created this Dollar Tree bath sponge wreath, and as well, I'm going to show you how I put together this bow to attach onto our wreath. Why don't I just get started and I'll show you how I put it all together. I am starting off with this 9.5-inch green foam wreath from the Dollar Tree. And I have 4 of these loofahs as well. You can choose any different color. They come from the Dollar Tree. And I picked up these 2 ribbons. They're 1.5 inches by 9 foot as well. All of these items are coming from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to start off just by taking off the sticker, obviously. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife and I'm just going to cut through that wreath form there, creating a space where I can put our loofah sponge into, or on, I should say. And really, the foam is not that difficult. You just need a little bit of pressure. If you need, or if you don't have an X-Acto knife, you can totally use a serrated knife from the kitchen. That'll work just as well. But now I've created my opening for my loofah mesh. And here we are with our loofah or bath sponge, whatever you want to call it. In the middle, there's usually a thread that keeps everything together. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open that up, cut it open, get rid of that thread. And then when you unravel everything, in my sponge that I have here, I had 3 different colors. So depending on what sponges you pick up, you could have 3 colors or 1 color, but this had like a dark fuchsia, a pink, and a white. And you'll see that it's like a sleeve, really. So that's how we're going to attach it onto our wreath form, is using that sleeve. But there's my 3 colors, and I'm going to grab my wreath form, and then I'm going to start with that dark fuchsia color. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to feed the wreath form in between the sleeve, and then I'm just going to pull it on. So really, it's not like the other wreaths where, you're doing a whole bunch of cutting and adding a whole bunch of twist ties or pipe cleaners. This is really easy, really simple to do. You just pull it through and then you'll see how easy that is. And of course, squish it together and you can see kind of the effect that I'm going for. And the next color I'm going to choose is that pink color. And again, I'm just going to do the exact same thing, feed the green form right through the middle of that sleeve and push it together. And you can kind of see the effect that I'm going for here. It does look like a deco mesh wreath, really, in the end, which is the goal, right? A deco mesh look without all the work. And here's my white going on. And like I said before, you can use 3 or 4, depending on how full you want it. I mean, you could use more, obviously, too, but I found 4 to be just perfect. You can see how nice and full it is. Once I get all 4 of them down, unfortunately, I did this off camera, but I put a whole bunch of hot glue in between the cut, and then I'm just going to hold that together. It took about 3 to 4 minutes for it actually to dry, and then once it dried, I let it go. It all stuck together perfectly, and now I'm just going to fluff it all up. I'm going to space it out evenly to make sure all those colors are exposed. And here we are. Our fluffed up little wreath is all ready to go. And next, I'm going to do my bow that you saw right at the beginning. And again, this is 1.5-inch wired ribbon, two different patterns, sorry, and they're 9 feet per roll. So I used both rolls for this. And then I stack them together with the good side facing up. And then I'm going to flip it over with the good side facing down. And when I do this ribbon, you'll want to make sure that the good side always faces down, especially if you have a good side and a bad side. I'm just going to start with my first loop, and then I'm going to bring my ribbon over, creating a second loop. And these are going to be the smallest loops for our wreaths. When you get to the center, give it a little twist, and then we're going to continue with that good side facing down, and then I'm going to bring those ribbons over to the other side again. And I usually do a finger length between the smaller loop and the larger loop that I'm creating. Again, we'll twist, making sure that good side is facing down, and then we repeat the process over and over again. I just make sure it's nice and neat as I go. I measure my finger length, and then I bring it over to the other side. I hold it down in the center, give it a good twist, and I just repeat that process over and over again. And for this one, I think I did I think it's 8 loops in total. I can't really remember how many I did, but I think it's 8 loops in total. And when I'm done, I just cut a little bit off center, and then I just put the excess to the side for now. I'm going to squish the center of my pile of ribbon, grab a pipe cleaner, fold it in half, and then I'm going to place that right at the middle. And then with my right hand, I'm just going to grab that ribbon, fold it over, and with my left hand, I'm just going to twist and make sure everything's nice and secure. We unfold it, and now the fun happens. Since we have 2 ribbons here, I'm just going to go in and separate the ribbons all the way around, and that is the start of our beautiful 2-ribbon bow. Once I started doing this, I was kind of thinking, you know what, I think I want to do tails. So I'm going to grab my ribbon again. And I didn't measure this, I just kind of eyeballed the length that I wanted. And I wanted longer tails for this as well. So instead of just having the bow, I'm going to add a little bit of tails on it as well. And there's 2 different lengths. And here's how much I have left over that 9-foot roll. So I have about 10 to 12 inches left over. So I pretty much almost used the entire roll of these 2 fabrics to make this bow. And again, that's a 1.5 inch by 9-foot roll. I'm cutting my second fabric. And once I do that, I'm going to finish off the edges just by dovetailing them. So you just place them together, fold them in half, and then cut on an angle, and that's going to create a nice finished edge. So I do that for all 4 of my ribbons. Then I lay them down, good side facing down. Try to center them all, find that center, and then I'm going to squish together and fold it. And since this is wire ribbon, they fold really nicely and they lay nicely. I'm going to take that and I'm going to place it in between my 2 pipe cleaners, give it a couple of good twists to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. And then I am done with my bow. We have our beautiful 2-ribbon bow, and of course it needs a little fixing, a little fluffing up, but we'll finish all of that once we attach it to our wreath. And here is our wreath ready for our bow. I'm just going to place it right here on the side because I think that's where I want it to go. I think that's where it's going to look best. Flip that wreath over. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the pipe cleaner around the green form. Give it a couple of really good twists. And then I will cut the excess off of this just using a pair of scissors. Or you can use wire cutters as well. And just to make sure nothing goes anywhere, nothing comes undone, I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue on there just to secure that in place. Then I'm going to flip my wreath over, and now it's time for me to fluff up that bow and get all of that ribbon nice and fluffy so everybody can see all of my hard work. What I wanted to do is to create little curls with those tails. So here all I did was I just took an acrylic paint bottle. This is a plastic acrylic paint bottle from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use it like curlers, really. And that's going to create our curls. Since these are wired ribbons, it's going to give us a little bit of a curl. And I do a couple of down curls, a couple of up curls, just to give those tails a little bit of character. And now I'm just finessing everything, making sure it's all beautiful. And I just love how this turned out, and I hope you did as well. My little bath sponge wreath from the Dollar Tree with our little bow. Thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate you joining me, and I hope you did like that wreath. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thanks again for joining me. Take care Bye for now.